Good morning, everybody. So here's the benchmark review. I'm going to go over as many questions as possible, but I'm going to have to break up the video. So I'm going to do about 15-minute videos. We'll see how long this takes. Question number 1, you need to solve by using distributive property. So I'm not going to distribute or combine the 7x. So I'm going to rewrite 7x. But I do need to distribute the negative 7. So negative 7 times 4x is negative 28x. And negative 7 times 8 is negative 56. This is going to equal 112. We're going to combine like terms. So on the left side, the ones that have x's are like terms. 7x minus 28x is negative 14x. Bring down the minus 56 equals 112. We're going to add 56 to both sides of our equation because I want to isolate the variable. And I'm going to get negative 14x is equal to 168. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 14 and 100, excuse me, 168 divided by negative 14 will end up giving us, let's see, and what's going to be a negative? It's going to be negative 12. Now the answer is not even there, but that's okay. Negative 12. Number 2. I want to solve for x, so this time I'm going to use distributive property to distribute by 7, getting 7x minus 49 minus 5 equals negative 96. You do not distribute the 7 to the negative 5 because the negative 5 is not in parentheses. This time I have like terms that don't have a variable x that are on the same side of the equal sign. So you combine those, getting negative 54. I want to solve for x, so the opposite of subtracting 54 is to add 54. So I get 7x is equal to negative 42. The opposite of multiplying by 7 is to divide by 7. So negative 42 divided by 7 is negative 6. Number 3. This time I have an inequality, but I don't have any terms that I need to combine, so I can already start solving it. The opposite of subtracting by 5 is to add by 5, and I'm writing it on the other side of the inequality. So I get negative 2r is less than or equal to 10, because 5 plus 5 is 10. Negative 2r means negative 2 times r. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. When you divide by a negative, you have to flip your inequality. 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Number 4. I have to use distributive property. So 3 times n is 3n. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Rewrite your inequality, rewrite 18. I can't combine any like terms, so I'm going to do the opposite of subtracting by 6, which is to add by 6. And I'm going to get 3n is greater than 24. 3n means 3 times n, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and n is going to be greater than 8. Number 5. John rode his bike at a speed of 10 miles per hour for 4 hours. So next day he rides his bike with a speed of 12 miles per hour. Which of the following inequalities represents the amount of hours John needs to ride to complete at least 100 miles? Well, I'm going to go based on the inequality. At least means greater than or equal to. So A is already out because his is less than, and D is already out. So now it's between B and C. So when you're writing miles, you're adding. So I'm going to do 10 times 4 plus 12 miles per hour that he rode on the next day. And it's per hour. So the 12 gets a variable, and it needs to be at least 100 miles. So that I know is going to give me C. Not B, because they're subtracting, and we're not subtracting. Jasmine buys 20 songs from iTunes for $1.99 each. The next day, she buys some more songs at the same price. Which of the following inequalities represents the number of songs she can buy without spending more than $30. No more than $30 means less than or equal to. So I know B is out because of the inequality. And I also know that C is out because this is just less than. And it says at no more than 30. So she can spend 30, but she can't go over. It's $199 times 20 because there's 20 songs. Plus, she bought more songs at the same price. So the same price is $1.99. How many more songs? I don't know, but we're going to use a variable S. Less than or equal to 30. So here the answer is going to be A. D has subtraction. We're not subtracting because we're buying more songs. We have to use addition. So the answer is A. Jen is working with the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. Let me draw a rectangle. Given by the equation, the perimeter equals 2 times the width plus 2 times the length, where P represents the total perimeter, W represents the width, and L represents the length. Which of the following equations can be used to find L, the length of the rectangle? Well, if I have the formula P equals 2W plus 2L, I can solve for the variable W just like I have been for X. So if I want to get the L by himself, that means I need to get rid of the 2W. The opposite is to subtract 2W. Now I can't combine the P and the 2W, so you rewrite it. My last step here, 2L means 2 times. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And when I divide both sides by 2, I get L by itself. So I have P minus 2W divided by 2. B. Number 8. John bought an ice cream cone and several candy bars that cost 40 cents each. The equation is the following. Which of the following equations can be used to find X? So I have T equals 0.4X plus C. I need to solve for X. So I need to get rid of C. The opposite is to subtract by C. So I get T minus 6 equals 0.4X. I don't want 0.4x, I just want x. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm dividing both sides by 0.4. T minus C divided by 0.4 is going to equal my x. The answer is B. Solve for x if the perimeter is equal to 15. Well, we know that perimeter means to add up all the sides. So x minus 3 plus 2x plus 6. This is going to equal the perimeter, which is 15, because perimeter tells us to add up all the sides. Combine like terms, what's x plus 2x? That's 3x. Negative 3 is also a like term with 6 because they're on the same side of the equal sign. So negative 3 plus 6 is positive 3. You don't do the opposite. You just combine them. I need to solve for x by subtracting 3 to both sides of my equation. So I get 3x equals 12. Divide both sides by 3. And when you divide both sides by 3, x is going to equal 4. Because 12 divided by 3 is 4. Same type of question, except this time they give us a square, not a triangle. It's a square. So I know that the properties of a square are actually it's a rectangle, not a square. Opposite sides are congruent, so it means the top has to be x because the bottom is x, and the right side has to be x minus 5 because the left side is x minus 5. So I'm going to add up all my sides. So I have an x, I have an x minus 5, I have another x, and I have another x minus 5. And together, these are going to equal the whole perimeter, which is 30. So now I'm going to combine like terms. I have x plus x, that's 2x, plus 2 more x's, that's 4x. Then I'm going to combine the negative 5s. They're on the same side of the equal sign, so I can combine them. Negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10. This is going to equal the perimeter, which is 30. Solve for x by adding 10 to both sides. So I get 4x equals 40. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm dividing by 4 so I can isolate the variable, and I get 10. x is equal to 10. So the answer is D. Which is the first incorrect step? So let's look at Rick's work. 5x you have to rewrite, but negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x, and negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. He messed up on step 1. Number 12. When Rick uses distributive property, he should have gotten 3x plus 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Does he have the exact same thing? No, he wrote positive 8. He messed up in step 1. Number 13, I'm going to use distributive property. 5 times 4m is 20m. 5 times 8 is 40. Now I'm going to distribute by negative 5. Negative 5 times m, negative 5m. And negative 5 times negative 6, positive 30. Rewrite equals negative 35. On the left-hand side of my equation, I have a lot of like terms. 20m minus 5m are like terms. They're on the same side of the equal sign, so I can just combine them. 20 minus 5, it gives me 15. I also have 40 and 30 that are on the same side of the equal sign. They're like terms. You combine them. 40 plus 30 is 70. Now I just solve for m by subtracting 70, because the opposite of adding is subtracting, to the other side of the equal sign. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So you get 15m equals negative 105. Divide both sides by 15, because I don't want 15m, I want m. So I get rid of the 15 in front of the m, and negative 105 divided by 15 should be, let's see, I believe it's 7. Yep. But it's going to be negative 7 because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So the answer is D. Number 14, I'm going to do on the next video. So this video that I just finished recording will be video number 1.